Yo, I'm back at it again. So in today's video, I want to talk about BPD and identity confusion. If you do enjoy the content, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below on any videos that you would like to see, and smash that like button. Now, I'm back on the website Very Well Mind because I think it's a very good website. I'll leave the link down in the description below. Borderline personality disorder and identity problems. Do you ever find yourself asking, who am I? What do I believe in? What's my place in the world? If you do, you're not alone. Many people with BPD struggle with identity issues, one of the core symptoms of BPD. Plenty of people without BPD struggle with identity issues too, but people with BPD often have a very profound lack of sense of self. If you struggle with the feelings that you have no idea who you are or what you believe in, this may be a symptom that you can relate to. Now, just speaking from my own personal experience, I have been lost so many times with who I am. And actually I think this is why I've got this little thing on the top of my head and this beard right now, because I feel like that's who I am right now. It might not be who I am in the future, but right now this kind of feels like me. I remember putting out a video, the one about vulnerability, and in that moment when I was just kind of sat there and I wanted to tell people who I was, I didn't know who I was. I had not a clue. I was just trying to tell people what I felt and I was trying to give them an example of who I was, but I really didn't know myself. I had not a clue in the world. And it's so confusing and it's almost infuriating because you're ashamed of not knowing who you are. Of course you should know who you are. You are you. So why shouldn't you know who you are? We'll dive into that again later. But I will go on to the next topic here. Understanding identity. Most experts view identity as your overarching sense of self and view of yourself. A stable sense of identity means being able to see yourself as the same person in the past, present, and future. In addition, a stable sense of self requires the ability to view yourself in one way despite the fact sometimes you may behave in contradictory ways. Identity is quite broad and includes many aspects of self. Your sense of self-identity is made up of your beliefs, attitudes, abilities, histories, ways of behaving, personality, temperament, knowledge, opinions, and roles. Identity can be thought of as your self-definition. It's the glue that holds together all these diverse aspects of yourself. Now, this can lead me on straight to the moments where I lost my identity. I mean, reading this back, I'm kind of taking in some of this myself, but let's just read back a few of those beliefs. You know, beliefs, attitudes, abilities, history, ways of behaving, personality, temperament, knowledge, opinions, and roles. Over the last 3 years, for me, I would say none of those have stayed the same. I went to university and I learnt a whole degree, and then I went to drama school and unlearned everything that I had just learned. History, ways of behaving. I am now a completely different person than who I was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Completely different, because I recognised what I was doing wasn't the nicest of things, so I changed it. And because of that, I didn't feel like myself. But it was definitely the right move. If you do feel like your identity is being confused, there's a reason for it. And if we can take note of this paragraph that I've just read here, understanding identity, if any of these things are changing, your beliefs, attitudes, abilities, history, ways of behaving, personality, temperament, knowledge, opinions, and roles, if any of those are changing and you feel like you don't know who you are, look at this, look at the data, think about what is changing about you. Are you happy with that change? Do you not like that change? Are you yearning for that change and you can't make it? Although it may be uncomfortable at the time if you are going through these identity problems, which, like I said, can be very uncomfortable. If you can ride through it and you can understand why your identity is changing, and if it is changing for the good or for bad, you then have an understanding of what's going on. If it's going badly and you don't want this change of identity to happen, don't let it happen. Go back to your roots, go back to who you was. But then my question to you is that change that you're so afraid of because of the fear of the unknown, is it bad because you're scared of it, not because it's actually a good thing, if you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Why is identity important? Having a sense of identity serves many different functions. A strong identity can help you to adapt to changes. While the world around you is constantly changing, if you have a strong sense of self, you essentially have an anchor to hold you whilst you adapt. Without that anchor, changes can feel chaotic and terrifying. In addition, having a strong identity allows you to develop self-esteem. Without knowing who you are, how can you develop a sense that you are worthwhile and deserving of respect? So I've spoken to my counsellor before, and previous counsellors before that, about a thing called toxic shame. For me, I felt very ashamed of myself when I didn't know who I was, because I should know who I am. I am me. So when I'm having these problems and I'm like, I really don't know who I am. Am I this person? Am I that person? Am I living in the past? Am I living in the present? Am I living in the future? Who am I? What's my morals? What's my goals? What do I want to achieve? Do I want to achieve nothing or everything? What is that all about? And when these things are sort of throwing themselves at you and you're in the middle of sort of like a blip, things can very easily come crumbling down. Because you're not aware of this sense of self, you can then start sort of torturing yourself in a way and start taking digs at yourself because you don't know. And you start punishing yourself because you don't know who you are. Why? Of course you know who you are. The only person that you can be is you. That's it. I've been told that so many times, and that's what it is. You cannot be anybody else but yourself. Yes, your views may change. You know, your religion might change, your ethics and everything about you might change, but you are still you. You will always be you. If you take medication, if you go to therapy, you're still you. Yes, you've got help. Everybody in the world is allowed to ask for help. You are still you. Please remember that. And keep on pushing through these uncomfortable situations that you know will lead you down a better road. Because although they may be uncomfortable, putting yourself in uncomfortable positions makes gold. Pressure makes diamonds. Now here we go, I've got a big paragraph for you here. You might have to be a little bit patient with me. The question, who am I? And BPD. One of the symptoms of BPD listed in the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM. The standard for diagnosing mental conditions is identity disturbance, or a markedly and persistent unstable self-image, or sense of self. Which I can say that I have been in and out of all of my life. Please, please, please forgive yourself for being confused about who you are, because it's okay. It's absolutely okay. We can work through this together. It's just part of us. People with BPD often report that they have no idea who they are or what they believe in. Sometimes they report that they feel non-existent. Others even say that they are almost like a chameleon in terms of identity. They think they change who they are depending on their circumstances and what they think others want from them. This is so accurate. And this is why acting and BPD go so well together, because you are a chameleon. You can blend into any situation. You know, I'll talk to my nan differently than how I talk to Woodsy, than how I used to talk to my lecturers, than how I would talk to someone new. Everybody is different. I approach them completely differently because with BPD you can understand body language and how people, like to be approached and things like that. So you pick up on that body language, you adapt, you're a chameleon, you blend in, but you've changed. So then comes in the unstable sense of self, because you've changed who you are to fit with someone else. Actually, it's one of the biggest gifts in the world, but it can cause this, who am I? Am I this person that's trying to be this person, or am I myself being this person, or am I just myself? For example, you might find yourself being the life of the party at social events, but having a sombre and serious demeanour at work functions. Of course, everyone changes their behaviour to some degree in different contexts, but in BPD, this shift is so much more profound. Many people with BPD say that in addition to behaviour, their thoughts and feelings change to match the current situation. Again, very, 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 very accurate, because you take on board what all these people are saying, and you're like this sponge of information. You're just taking it in, taking it, taking it in, taking it in, and you've got all this information swirling around your head. You've got yours, you've got theirs, you've got theirs, you've got theirs, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, so is this information mine, or is it my friends, or is it what they've learned? So what I'm thinking now, is that who I am, or is that who they are? And that's where it starts getting really, really confusing. But again, what I would like to come back to is your morals, your ethics. Who are you? What do you believe in? I can say for me, treat people how you want it to be treated, give to give, always see people and view people with a smile, second chances are worthwhile. All these things that are down at my core that I've figured out, but actually I've figured out a lot of these things from other people. So then, is that them, or is that me? It's me. Of course it's me. It's me that's taking in the information and understanding it and doing what I want with it to then transform it into knowledge that I can then give out. Identity problems in BPD are sometimes called identity diffusion. This refers to difficulties determining who you are in relation to other people. Some people with BPD may describe this as having difficulties understanding where you end and the other person begins. This is a really, really, really key note to take on board if you're in a relationship. Keep yourself to yourself and your partner as your partner. Try not to get them confused. Really, really try your best to keep them separate. But that's not saying don't fall in love. I'm just saying try and keep your opinions as your opinions and your partners as their opinions. They're allowed to coincide, but they are your own views. As a result, many people with BPD struggle to set up and maintain healthy personal boundaries and have difficulties in interpersonal relationships. Why people with BPD have identity problems? There has been very little research on the identity problems associated with BPD, but there are many theories as to why people with BPD often struggle with identity. For example, Marsha Lehinen, I think that's how I spell her name, I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, PhD, a leading BPD researcher and the founder of DBT, believes you develop an identity by observing your own emotions, thoughts and feelings in addition to others' reactions to you. It's really interesting actually. Borderline personality disorder is associated with emotional instability, impulsive behaviour and dichotomous thinking. Sorry, again, dyslexic. All of these can make it difficult to form a coherent sense of self because internal experiences and outward actions are not consistent. What you are thinking and what they are thinking doesn't correspond, so then when they are put together, you don't know what the answer is. In addition, many people with BPD come from chaotic or abusive backgrounds, which may contribute to an unstable sense of self. If you determine who you are based on others' reactions to you, and those reactions have been unpredictable or scary, you have no framework for developing a strong sense of identity. when chaotic stuff and traumatizing things are happening around you, you don't have time to think about yourself because you're just thinking on your feet and you're adapting and absorbing, and every single bit of information that you take on is who you are, and sometimes it's not. So, you know, when I've had those experiences, and I can also say that they have led to me being having my unstable sense of self. Another potential factor is being able to think about mental states of yourself and others regarding dreams, thoughts, emotions and goals. This is known as mentalizing, and it is difficult for those with BPD. One study published in 2017 showed that this problem with mentalizing may play a key role in why people with BPD struggle so much with identity diffusion and interpersonal relationships. The fact that it's even mentioned dreams there has punched me in the face. I dream so often, and it confuses the life out for me because I don't know if my dreams are real or not, because they're so real at the time, and then they're not. Obviously they're not real, they're dreams, but they are real because they're made up from my subconscious, which is real, and it's made up of energy, which is real, and these things that I'm seeing are real, although they are not real in terms of surface and being able to touch and feel and all that types of things. But in terms of, you know, actually living through my dreams and feeling all the emotions, good Lord, that's there. I live my dreams. I don't just dream my dreams, I live them. And then when I wake up, I live them. The dreams stay with me for hours, for days sometimes, because of what I've dreamt about, and I can't figure out why I'm having those dreams. How to find yourself. So, how do you go about answering the question, who am I? Of course, there is no magic solution for identity problems. These issues are complicated. However, most treatments for BPD include components that can help you begin to discover who you are and what you stand for. The first step is finding a good therapist who can help you work on identity problems. Mary, for me, has been absolutely wonderful. She's talked me through a load of things. My girlfriend as well, she's been fantastic in identifying who I am and just pointing it out to me, so when I get confused they'll just say, no, look, this is who you are. Because I can't be anybody but myself. Remember, neither can you. In addition, there are ways that you can work on identity issues on your own. You can begin to discover what you view as meaningful in your life. The act of categorizing and defining these areas can help you start on a path to discovering what's most important to you, which is a significant part of your identity. What a note to go out on. So, what this says to me is the things that make you happy, that make you feel positive and put a smile on your face, the things that you enjoy doing, like your hobbies and activities and you know, music or going to the gym or art or your job. All of these things become a part of your identity. You know, you can begin to discover what you view as meaningful in your life, and finding these things that are meaningful to you starts building who you are or who you believe you want to be. So my advice to you is, if you know anything that makes you happy, so for me, I quite like exercise, quite like making videos at the moment. That's a big part of my identity. I make films and stuff. I enjoy being vulnerable. I try and help people to be better versions of themselves. All of these things are now part of my identity, and I think because I've incorporated them more consistently into my life, I have started regaining my sense of self again. Now, this isn't to say that it's been an easy road. I am like a roller coaster, just like you, up and down all the time. This is a good day today, it's a sunny day outside, it's lovely. I know who I am today because things aren't going wrong and I'm not having to adapt and change. I am just being who I am. Whereas in other situations it wouldn't be the same. So my advice to you, like I said, is go out and do the things that make you happy. Go out and do the things that inspire you. Go out and do the things that get you motivated. Start incorporating all these different things into your life that you think you like, and if you don't like them anymore, that's completely fine. You can try something else. But if you do like them, and they do make you happy, and they do make you smile, why wouldn't you carry on doing them? Lots of love, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like the videos, feel free to hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below on what you would like to see next, and I hope you have a wonderful day.